Organization is the key to video production, and it may surprise you that that organization or the video production really begins at this particular level. Here, taking a look at our folders, and so I thought what I'd do is talk to you about a project that we had put together last year for graduation. There's graduation 2015, and just give you an overview of the organization that is necessary in putting together a project. Now, this was a pretty big project, getting ready for graduation. There's a lot of resources that go into that, but for any project, you really want to stay quite organized, and it really begins at this level where you take all of your raw material, where you've got images from different, in this case, different years. I've got 7th grade info. I've got some stuff here like an 8th grade video of that class of 2015. Different audio tracks that were recorded, documents, grad folders, pictures, different images, 2015. Kevin King was a special project because he was in Brazil, so we created that video that came from him, and we kept that separate. And so essentially what we do is we create a folder for every piece of information that is unique. And so, for example, in putting together graduation 2015, let's drill down into grad folders. And so in this case, you say, let me go back and show you that. So we've got all of this stuff for graduation 2015. And we have all these individual folders with images and video and some documentation and music. And then, so we have this one called grad folders. This is kind of the heart and the soul of it all right here. And so for this, for each of our graduates, you can see we have numbered every one of the graduates all the way down to 31. And now this numbering is critical because like this number 1 would stay with this graduate throughout the whole production process, because it's important that we don't forget anybody. You can imagine at graduation if we left somebody off of that video. It's a situation that it can't happen. You can't make that mistake. You don't get a second chance. And so you have to be very meticulous as you go through this. And so this number will stay with the student all the way through the process. And you will see that as we drill further into the editing process. But initially, we create these folders for every student, highly organized. And then within each one of these, let's pick Yara. So within that folder, we've got all the resources we need as far as Yara's pictures go. And so there's some early pictures of Yara. There's another early picture. Just resources that we're going to work with in making Yara's movie. And there's her senior picture. And so we keep that all stored. Now you'll also see those numbers. So Yara, there's Yara number 4. Let's go over and take a look at audio. Let's see what we have, if that's an organized deal. There it is, number 4. There's that number 4 again. And there's Yara. And so this was just the narration that was recorded for her part during graduation.
Yara Jeanette Chavoya. Yara Chavoya. Yara is the daughter of Ronaldo
and so that number stays with it. And we have to do this, though, that if we miss something, it's going to show up. And we double check it. And I tell you, the night before graduation, we go through it, and I have somebody else go through it. We go through the graduation list, and we make sure that everybody's on there. Now, for most of the projects you're going to do, you're not going to have to be that organized. But you do have to be organized. If things get lost, it's a problem. If things get misplaced, it's a problem, because Adobe Premiere Pro, the program that you're going to be using, builds maps to the location of all of your resources. And if the resources get moved, your entire project will collapse. And you won't be happy. I've had it happen before. It'll ruin your day. You can have hours of work just kind of vanish, and it can take some time to reconstruct it, and sometimes you just can't get back if there's just too much of a mess. So this organization will need to take place on your computer, the Drive E, not B. It's got to be on Drive E. It's got to be in your folder, and it's got to be clear for each project that you do. Highly organized. Let's see if there's something else to look at. So we have those grad folders. We have the audio folder. Let's see. Images. Oh, student movies. Okay. So once all that information is assembled into the editing program, then an individual movie is made for each student. So there's the audio, the pictures, and then at the very end we'll put music towards the end of that. But here's Yara again, and notice again, number 4, Yara number 4. And so this is almost a completed version of the movie that goes into graduation. Let's double click and see what this looks like. I forget exactly how far we got.
Yara Chavoya. Yara is the daughter of Ronaldo and Luz Maria Chavoya. In the fall, Yara will be attending Chico State University, where she intends to major in the field of kinesiology.
Okay, so this contains all of the video images, the transitions, and the audio matched up together in the editing program and then exported as a separate movie that will later go on to become part of the final track. So there's no music at this point, no titles, but just the images and the audio put together. And so that's all organized. And so there it is, all 31 of them. Oh, there's Kevin's speech there too that he recorded. And all the way to Paulino, number 31. So then what's going to happen is this is all going to be accessed and put in to Adobe Premiere Pro. So just to summarize for this video, your video is going to begin in Windows. You're going to make folders. Initially, the folders that we will create will be a video folder, image folder, music, and a project folder at a minimum. There's the graduation 215. And in the next video, we'll actually go into that, and I'll show you how all of this information becomes part of the final editing process. And I think before I do conclude this video, we'll go ahead and I'll show you what you need to do to get started for that initial organization. Go ahead and go into your computer, and you'll want to go into your thought space. There's that Drive E. And I have mine organized under the current school year, but you're going to find your name. And then in that main section of your folder, you'd want to create a folder and call it video production. You can put the year if you want. And then go ahead and go into that folder. And then you need to make a couple of new folders. And so the first one I would name Premiere Projects. Premiere Projects. Premiere Pro is the name of the program we're using, and a project file is the actual editing file of where we actually build the movie. So you're going to have Premiere Projects. You're going to have video. Images. And music. And that'll probably be enough to get us started. And within this images, you could go ahead and move those video images that you created where we resize them, and that's going to be your first project. And so I would take that video images folder, copy it, and put it inside this images folder. So Premiere Projects, video, music, and images. And that'll be a good start to get us moving into the next phase of video production.